Welcome back to the Behavior Code, the podcast that decodes the why behind what we do. I'm your host, Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. Today we're diving into something I think we've all felt, but maybe never put a name to: the magnetic pull of mystery. Why is it that the unknown is so attractive?
Exactly. It's so counterintuitive, right? You'd think that in relationships, you'd want total transparency, an open book. But there's something about a person who holds a little bit back.
An open book you can read in 5 minutes.
Right, and then you're done. Think about it like this. Imagine you're at a party, you meet two people. The first person, let's call him Tom, comes up to you and within 10 minutes, you know everything. You know about his messy breakup last year, his struggles at his marketing job, his passion for collecting vintage lunchboxes, and his detailed 5-year plan.
Okay, Tom, a classic oversharer. We all know a Tom.
Totally. He's nice, but the puzzle is solved. Then you meet Jane. Jane is engaging. She asks you great questions, she's funny, but when you ask her what she does, she just smiles and says, "I work with creative people." When you ask about her weekend, she says, "Oh, I had a little adventure." You learn very little. Exactly. And it's not that Tom is a bad guy. He's probably very nice. But the conversation feels one-sided. It's like he's broadcasting his life story at you and you're just a passive audience. There's no space for you to wonder, to ask, to engage.
She gives you just enough to make you want more.
Exactly. Who are you thinking about on the drive home? Tom and his lunchboxes, or what kind of adventure Jane had?
It's always Jane. You're trying to fill in the blanks. And that's where the psychology of it really begins. Our brains are fundamentally wired to solve puzzles. It's an evolutionary trait. And it's not just about the drive home. Your brain will literally revisit that interaction, trying to find clues you might have missed. It's a subconscious process, an attempt to complete the pattern she started. Tom is a closed loop. Jane is an open one, and our minds hate open loops.
It really is. Think about our ancestors on the savannah. The ones who survived were the ones who were curious, who saw a rustle in the grass and thought, is that a predator or prey? They didn't just accept the world at face value, they investigated. That curiosity, that need to close the information gap, is hardwired into our DNA. It's a survival mechanism that we now apply to our social lives.
There's a concept called the information gap theory, or the curiosity gap. It basically states that when there's a gap between what we know and what we want to know, our brain generates a feeling of curiosity. It's like a mental itch that we are desperate to scratch.
Oh, that makes so much sense. So Jane, our mysterious partygoer, she isn't just being vague, she's creating that gap. It's a powerful cognitive force. I read about a study by George Lowenstein who coined that term. He argued that curiosity isn't just a passive state of interest, it's an active state of deprivation. When that gap opens up, our brain perceives it as a deficiency, something that needs to be corrected. It's almost like a hunger or a thirst, but for information.
Precisely. She's handing you a puzzle box with no instructions. Your mind instinctively starts working on it. What does she do? What are her hobbies? What's her story? That cognitive real estate she's now occupying in your head, that's the beginning of attraction. Exactly. And when our brain scratches that itch, it gets a little hit of dopamine, a reward chemical. So, a mysterious person isn't just creating a puzzle. They are dangling the promise of a dopamine reward for solving it. It's neurologically compelling.
Because you're investing mental energy into her.
You are? And our brains have this funny little quirk where we tend to value things more if we've invested effort into them. It's called the IKEA effect. You value that wobbly bookshelf you built yourself more than a pre-assembled one.
The IKEA effect. I love that. So when you're piecing together your idea of who Jane is, you're building a mental bookshelf and you start to value her more because of that effort.
That's the idea. Tom, on the other hand, just hands you a fully assembled, mass-produced bookshelf with the entire instruction manual stapled to the front. There's no work to do, no engagement. Your brain says, "Okay, got it," and moves on.
It's like the difference between watching a movie trailer that shows the entire plot versus one that just gives you a glimpse and leaves you with a question.
Perfect analogy. Mystery doesn't mean being silent or cold. It means being a good movie trailer. You show the best parts, you hint at a deeper story, and you make them want to buy a ticket to find out the rest.
And that curiosity, that mental itch, it's powerful. It keeps you coming back. You want to ask more questions. You want to see them again to get another piece of the puzzle.
And it feeds directly into another powerful psychological trigger, the scarcity principle. And it's not just about coming back for more, it's about the quality of the attention you're paying. When you're curious, you're not just passively listening, you're actively searching for clues. Your brain is lit up, engaged in a way it just isn't when information is being handed to you.
It's the same reason we can't stop watching a show with a cliffhanger ending. The writers intentionally create a huge information gap, and our brains are screaming for a resolution. We're not just entertained, we're cognitively hooked. Ah, yes, the reason we all want the limited edition sneakers or the sold-out concert tickets.
It's the exact same principle. We are wired to believe that things that are rare or difficult to obtain are more valuable. When you overshare, like our friend Tom, you make information about yourself abundant. It's easily available. There's no scarcity.
So your perceived value goes down. It's not that you are less valuable, but the perception is that you are. Because if you're giving it all away for free, what's it worth?
Right. A mysterious person, on the other hand, makes information about themselves scarce. You have to earn it. You have to invest time, build trust, and ask the right questions. Each little detail they reveal feels like a reward.
It's like you're unlocking achievements in a video game. You get a little dopamine hit every time you learn something new and personal.
And this scarcity isn't just about information. It's also about your time and attention. If you're always available, always texting back within 3 seconds, always free to hang out, you make your presence abundant.
Which, again, lowers your perceived value. Whereas someone who has their own life, their own hobbies, who sometimes is busy, their time feels more valuable because it's scarce.
Exactly. It communicates that you have a full, interesting life that doesn't revolve around waiting for them. And this ties into the social dynamics of attraction. Think about this in the context of online dating. A profile that has a novel-length bio explaining every single personality trait is like Tom at the party. It's too much. The most effective profiles are often shorter, witty, and leave something to the imagination. They create an information gap. Think about what mystery signals on a subconscious level. It signals confidence.
How so?
Well, people who overshare are often seeking validation. They're laying all their cards on the table, hoping you'll say, "I like your cards, you're okay."
Right, they're trying to prove their worth.
A person who maintains a little mystery isn't doing that. They're implicitly saying, "I know my own worth. I don't need to lay it all out for you to approve of it." They are self-contained. That quiet confidence is incredibly attractive.
And it also signals independence. If someone isn't constantly talking about themselves, it suggests they have a rich internal life and external hobbies that don't require an audience. They're not deriving their sense of self from your reaction to their story.
And that combination of confidence and independence often reads as high status. In social hierarchies, whether we like it or not, the people at the top are often the ones who are less reactive, more in control, and who don't need to constantly explain themselves. They have a certain composure.
The person who talks the least in the room is often perceived as the most powerful.
It's a classic trope for a reason. They let others fill the silence. They observe. Their words have more weight because they are used sparingly. That's a form of mystery, and it projects power and status.
So when we're drawn to a mysterious person, we're not just drawn to the puzzle, we're also subconsciously picking up on these cues of confidence, independence, and higher social value.
Yes, and nowhere is this more potent than in the world of dating and romantic attraction.
Okay, so let's get into it. The dating world. This is where the concept of playing it cool comes from, right? The idea that you shouldn't seem too eager.
It's the folk wisdom version of a real psychological principle, the power of uncertainty. Studies have shown that people can be more attracted to someone when they are unsure of how that person feels about them, compared to when they are certain the person likes them a lot.
That sounds so backwards. Why would we prefer uncertainty? It's stressful.
Because it's also exciting. That question, do they like me? Do they not? It triggers the reward centers in our brain. It creates a sort of addictive loop. The possibility of winning their affection becomes a huge dopamine driver.
The thrill of the chase.
Exactly. When someone lays it all on the line immediately, I'm so into you, you're amazing, it can be flattering, but it also ends the game. The chase is over before it began. There's no tension to resolve.
But with a mysterious person, you're not quite sure where you stand. They're warm and engaging when you're with them, but they don't flood you with texts afterward. They seem interested, but they're also busy with their own lives. That uncertainty keeps you thinking about them.
And again, that mental real estate is critical. The more time you spend thinking about someone, trying to figure them out, the more important they become in your mind. You're not just falling for them, you're falling for the story and the puzzle you're co-creating.
So this isn't about playing manipulative games, right? It's not about being intentionally hot and cold to mess with someone's head.
That's a crucial distinction. There's a big difference between being mysterious and being a jerk. Mystery, in its healthy form, comes from a place of genuine self-possession and having a full life. It's not a tactic. It's a byproduct of being an interesting, independent person.
Okay, so let's make this practical. People are listening and thinking, fine, I get it. Stop being Tom the oversharer. How can someone cultivate a healthy sense of mystery without coming across as aloof or disinterested?
All right, practical tips. I think the number one, most important thing is to simply speak less and listen more.
So simple, yet so hard for so many people.
It is. We often feel this nervous pressure to fill silence. Resist that urge, ask a thoughtful question, and then truly listen to the answer. People are not only fascinated by someone they don't fully understand, but they are incredibly drawn to someone who makes them feel understood.
That's a great point. You become mysterious by making them the center of the conversation, not yourself. Okay, what's next?
Don't explain everything. You don't owe everyone an explanation for your choices, your tastes, or your past. If you love a weird, obscure movie, you don't need to give a 10-minute speech defending it. Just say, I love it, it speaks to me. Let the statement hang there.
That shows so much confidence. You're not looking for their approval of your taste, you're just stating it. I like that. It also naturally leads to the next point, which is have hobbies and a life.
This is the most authentic way to be mysterious. Don't pretend to be busy, be genuinely busy. Have passions, goals, and friendships that you nurture. When you say you're busy, it's not a line, it's the truth. That makes you interesting because you actually are an interesting person doing interesting things.
And that naturally leads to the next tip. Delay responses sometimes. If you're genuinely busy painting or hiking or learning a language, you're not going to be on your phone 24/7.
Right? It's not about seeing the text and deliberately waiting 3 hours to seem cool. It's about being present in your own life so that you don't even see the text for 3 hours. It's a subtle but vital difference. One is a strategy, the other is a lifestyle.
Okay, last one. And I think this is a big one in our hyper-polarized world. Keep some opinions private.
Oh, absolutely. You do not have to have a hot take on every single issue. It is perfectly okay, and frankly very compelling to say, I haven't formed a strong opinion on that yet, or I see both sides of the issue. It makes you seem thoughtful and less predictable.
You can't be easily categorized, which forces the other person to see you as an individual, not just a collection of opinions.
Exactly. You're a person, not a political party or a Twitter feed.
So, on the flip side of that, let's talk about the common mistakes, the things that just kill any sense of mystery and attraction. I think the biggest one is the most obvious: oversharing.
It's the cardinal sin of mystery. This is what we call trauma dumping on a first date, or just revealing all your deepest insecurities and life stories to someone you barely know. It's too much, too soon. It puts the other person in an uncomfortable position.
Right, because intimacy should be built gradually. When you overshare, you're trying to force a level of intimacy that hasn't been earned yet, and it often backfires.
A close cousin to oversharing is simply talking too much, dominating the conversation, not letting the other person speak. This screams insecurity. It says, I'm afraid if I stop talking, you'll find me boring.
Which, ironically, is what makes you boring. Because a conversation is a two-way street. The most interesting people are almost always the most interested people.
Another mistake is explaining yourself too much. We touched on this, justifying your every choice. I ordered the salad because I'm trying this new diet, but usually I love burgers. I don't want you to think I'm one of those people who only eat salads.
Ugh, that is so cringeworthy and so common. Just own your choices. That confidence is attractive. The frantic need for approval is not.
And that really gets to the root of all these mistakes, trying too hard to be liked.
The people pleaser syndrome.
Yes, when you're constantly seeking approval and tailoring your personality to what you think the other person wants, you erase yourself. You become a mirror. And while that might seem appealing for a moment, it's ultimately uninteresting. There's no substance. There's no mystery because there's no you.
The most attractive thing is to be so comfortable with yourself that you don't need someone else to like you for you to feel okay. And that self-reliance is the ultimate source of true mystery.
So, to bring it all home, it's not about being a cold, calculating game player. It's about understanding human nature. Our brains are built to be curious.
And mystery creates that curiosity. It creates the information gap that makes people think about you when you're not around. It makes your time and your story feel scarce and valuable.
That curiosity then creates attention. People start focusing on you, investing their mental energy in figuring you out.
And that focused, sustained attention is the foundational ingredient of attraction. You can't be attracted to someone you never think about.
So, the chain reaction is clear. Mystery creates curiosity, curiosity creates attention, and attention creates attraction.
The takeaway here isn't to go out and create a fake persona. It's to focus on building a life that is genuinely full, to cultivate quiet confidence in who you are, and to understand that the most compelling story is one that unfolds over time, not one that's given away in the first chapter.
Well said. Let people earn the privilege of knowing you. That's all the time we have for today on the Behavior Code.
Join us next time as we explore another aspect of the human psyche. Until then, stay curious.